Anxiety wasn't my enemy, complacency was. Liam, 41, lived in a small flat in South Manchester. His days were calm, quiet, and predictable just the way he liked them. He had a job at a local logistics company, brought home just under £1, 100 a month after tax, and his rent was 620. Nothing flashy, but it worked. He had no credit card debt and a modest savings pot of about £400. He cooked most nights, didn't go out much, and rarely checked his bank app. Why stress what's working? He'd often say when people brought up budgeting apps or financial advice videos. I'm not rich, but I'm not struggling. His fridge had food. His bills got paid. The direct debits went out each month, and as long as his balance didn't go negative, he saw no reason to dig too deep. To Liam, financial stress was something that happened to people who didn't try hard enough or who bought stuff they didn't need. He wasn't like that. He didn't splurge on tech or order takeaway every other day. His clothes were simple, and his holidays? A coach to visit his sister in Leeds once a year. So when his bank sent him a low balance notification on a grey Tuesday morning, he frowned but didn't panic. Probably the gas bill, or maybe the council tax hit earlier than expected. He ignored it, had his toast, went to work. That afternoon he got another ping, this time from his letting agency. Hi Liam, your rent payment didn't go through. There's a £25 late fee. Please arrange payment ASAP. His stomach dropped. Wait, what? Liam opened his banking app for the first time in over 2 weeks. What he saw didn't make sense. Not yet, but it would. Liam sat in the break room at work, scrolling through his phone when the email came through. Subject: low balance alert. Your account is below 50. He raised an eyebrow, but didn't flinch. Probably the gas bill, he mumbled, tucking his phone away. That morning, he'd received a toast notification from his banking app too, but hadn't bothered opening it. Notifications didn't always mean problems, just noise. By the time he got home, the letter was waiting in his postbox. Your rent payment for this month has failed to process. A £25 late charge has been applied. Please ensure full payment by Friday. He read it twice, jaw tightening. His rent never bounced. Ever. He dropped his keys in the bowl and sat down at his kitchen table, pulling out his phone. This time, he opened the app. Balance: 6.23. He blinked. How? He whispered. He scrolled down his recent transactions. Gas bill: 58. Council tax: 120. Groceries: 42. Direct debit for his mobile plan: 38. It all looked normal. But it wasn't, because now he had no money and rent hadn't cleared. Must be a timing thing, he said out loud, though no one was listening. He moved £50 from his savings to cover the missed rent plus the 25 penalty. That left £300.50 in savings. Still a cushion, right? Still, something in his stomach twisted. A worry, soft and low. He'd felt fine just days ago. Now, after one bounced rent and a low balance alert, it felt like something was unraveling quietly, invisibly. He stared at the screen. How long has it been like this? He couldn't remember the last time he'd actually looked. Maybe he'd let the auto payments lull him into forgetting. Maybe the calm wasn't real. And for the first time in months, Liam didn't feel safe in his just enough routine. The silence of his flat seemed louder now. Liam sat stiff at the kitchen table, the glow of his phone screen casting a pale light on his face. He opened the banking app again, this time properly. No more skimming. He scrolled through his expenses line by line. The gas and electric bill had been 98 this month. Last winter it was 46. His last food shop, 86. The same basket used to be under £50. The subscription section shocked him most. Streaming apps, cloud storage, a meal kit trial he forgot to cancel, 2 free productivity tools he'd upgraded on a whim. 200.32 a month. His chest tightened. He'd told himself he was fine, but here was the truth blinking up at him in cold font. I didn't notice it creeping up, he whispered. The price jumps weren't dramatic. Just a few pounds here, a few more there. Nothing ever screamed danger. That's what made it worse. It had all felt normal. He realized he hadn't made a proper budget in over a year. Hadn't questioned the outgoings because until now nothing had bounced. And now that something had, it all felt fragile. Like a house resting on a single, quiet crack. His hand rested on his stomach. It felt tight. He wasn't broke. Not yet. But for the first time, he felt exposed. It was Friday when Liam's manager pulled him aside. Nothing personal, she said, just cuts across the board. Hours are down next month. His stomach dropped. His 35-hour week was being reduced to 20. That meant a drop from 100 a month to just over 650. He blinked. That doesn't even cover rent. The manager gave a sympathetic nod. There's some support out there. You could look into universal credit or council tax relief. Liam nodded, dazed. That night, he opened his laptop and started searching. Every site led to another form, another helpline, another vague paragraph that felt like it was written by robots. The local job center site crashed twice. The digital queue for live chat never dropped below over 100 people waiting. He called a helpline, sat through 37 minutes of hold music, and was told to try back on Monday. He stood in his tiny kitchen, phone still in hand, staring at the cracked tile above the hob. How did I let this happen? He'd always seen himself as sensible, careful, even. But now, looking at his reduced income and bloated bills, he felt like someone had slowly been siphoning his money while he wasn't paying attention, and now the tank was nearly empty. He scribbled on a notepad, £600.50 income rent, 525 utilities, 110 transport, 46 food? He stopped writing. Even before food, he was already £31 over budget. He felt heat rising in his neck. Was it anger? Shame? Panic? He checked his fridge, half a bottle of milk, some eggs, leftovers he didn't remember cooking. Everything felt urgent and slow at the same time. He rubbed his temples, the noise of the world outside suddenly feeling distant, like he was underwater. This wasn't a sudden crash. It was a slow slide he'd ignored for too long. And now, he had to face it head on. Liam sat at the kitchen table, his old university notepad open in front of him. He wrote 3 columns: income, outgoings, habits. It felt clinical, like doing an autopsy on his own lifestyle. He started from the top, income 650, 2 after hours were cut. That was fixed. Outgoings? That list hurt. Rent, 525. Utilities, 110 Netflix, 15.99 Spotify, 9.99 meal delivery app, 24.99 premium cloud storage, 7.99 meditation app he hadn't opened in 2 months. 49. A random newsletter subscription. Fiz 5,5. He stared at the page. How was I paying for peace I wasn't even using? Next came his habits column. It was worse. He realized he ordered lunch 3 times a week out of laziness, £7 here, 12 there. Took Ubers after long days, even when the bus was running. Bought snacks out of boredom, not hunger. None of it felt wrong in the moment. But now, it all felt like denial. This isn't an anxiety problem, he whispered. It's a complacency problem. He opened every app, one by one. Cancel, cancel, cancel. 6 monthly charges gone in under 10 minutes. Next, he looked up budget meals and planned 5 simple dinners. He walked to the nearest Aldi and got everything for £13. He even downloaded a free step counter and set a walking goal. No more Ubers unless absolutely necessary. The numbers hadn't changed much, but his mindset had. Liam wasn't just reacting anymore. He was responding with clarity. Liam didn't want to go back to old habits, so he kept moving forward. First, he joined a local budgeting group he'd found on Facebook. Just a dozen people from Manchester sharing money tips, wins, and lessons learned. On his first day, someone posted a photo of coloured envelopes. Rent, food, travel, fun. They were using cash for everything visually, seeing what they had and what they didn't. He messaged, "Does that really work?" Replies flooded in. "Totally changed how I spend. No more surprise overdrafts. It's like budgeting you can touch." Liam decided to try it. He took £200 in cash from his account and separated it into labelled envelopes. One for groceries, one for travel, one for weekly treats. Suddenly, money felt real tangible, limited, and easier to manage. That weekend, he went through drawers, shelves, and cupboards. Anything he hadn't used in the last 6 months went on eBay. A barely touched smartwatch, a second tablet he'd forgotten he had, an old DSLR. Within a week, he made $250. He put $150 towards rent. The rest went into his emergency fund, a new concept he learned in the group. Then came another shift. He dusted off an old skill editing documents and signed up for a freelance platform. It was slow at first, but by month's end, he had 2 steady clients and an extra £300 rolling in. Liam felt different. Not richer, not fixed, but awake. He stopped saying, "I'm just bad with money," He started saying, "I'm learning." He downloaded a simple expense tracker and logged every pound. Not obsessively, just enough to know where his money lived. It felt powerful, like shining a torch into a room he'd ignored for too long. Each small win stacked onto the next. Fewer takeaways, better sleep, more confidence. He wasn't scrambling, he was rebuilding. And slowly, it was working. 3 months later, Liam's bank account finally breathes again. For the first time in years, it holds more than £500 after the bills are paid. No overdraft, no bounce payments, just quiet, steady numbers and no fear when he checks them. He checks his statements every morning now. It's become a habit like brushing his teeth. Just a few minutes to glance, understand, adjust if needed. He says no to little temptations without guilt. Overpriced brunches, late-night takeaway cravings, things he used to justify with, "I deserve this." Now he realizes what he truly deserves is peace of mind. His weekends are different. He meal preps with music on, walks to the library instead of scrolling Amazon. And when friends invite him out, he doesn't leave, simply says, "Not this week, mate. Saving for something bigger." He doesn't feel embarrassed. He feels proud. It wasn't the fear that broke him. It was the silence before it. Now he's wide awake and thankful. Because anxiety didn't destroy him, it opened his eyes. Liam sits by the window with a cup of tea, soft rain tapping the glass. He pulls out his journal, the one he used to avoid because it held too much truth. Now he fills it with hard-won clarity. He writes, "I thought anxiety was the threat, but the real danger was staying numb. I won't chase comfort over clarity again." Then, in bold letters, "Complacency cost me more than fear ever did." He closes the journal, looks around his flat, still modest, but finally feels like home. Not because it changed, because he did. Moral: fear sharpens focus. Ignoring reality doesn't protect you, it buries you. Follow for real stories of financial wake-up calls. Subscribe to take charge before crisis forces you to.